and just like, oh man,
You know what's crazy that it just popped in my head? Not to cut you off. I think it's unfathomable to me in my brain to try to wrap my head around that somebody could be so good and a master at one thing that they could be so stupid in everything else. Does that make sense? Like he's the king of like this R&B fucking shit he does, right? But he has no life skills outside of that. You could be a savant in one area in your life and be dog shit at everything else. It's so crazy, right?
I want to know, what does creativity have to do with sexual wants or sexual desires and needs? Because it seems like the more we get into creative industry, the number goes up of sexual depravity or whatever the fuck you want to call it. When you start, and I know the numbers are going to be different because it's a smaller population of entertainers and creators, but when you get into that creator world, the number of sexual perversion just goes way
You know what I think
up.
it is too? Because I grew up an art kid and went to art school, and the majority of, I think, creative people are kind of fucking nerds. They're kind of solo. They kind of fucking are off the beaten path of like what a fucking, they're not the jock. They're not the popular dude in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when they finally get that superstar status and they realize like, oh shit, I could have any chick I want, they go off the rails, dude, because they didn't grow up having any kind of knowledge about that shit. Does that make sense? So you just go so deep, dude, I think, that you just end up losing your fucking mind a little bit, dude. You know what I mean?
Trip me the fuck out.
And you have money on top of it.
How do, when you get to that world, shit changes. If I get to that world, I'm gonna have, thicker bitches, still in the 30 plus range, all that shit. I don't do cute girls. I do pretty women. I like pretty women. I don't care for cute girls. Not that I don't care for them, but that's not my end of the spectrum.
Right.
So when I see those guys doing what they do, R. Kelly liking young girls and Mike liking young people, it really flips me out because that's not I'm on the other end of the spectrum, thicker, older. And they like them young, and it just fucks me up.
Well, and did you hear his only fucking thing he looks for? Legal?
Who?
R. Kelly on that interview was like, the only thing I look for in a chick is she legal. And it was like, so you'll take her the very day she turns 18, it sounds like,
At 11:59, he's pulling his dick out. The night before her birthday, she turns 18 tomorrow.
Right, R. Kelly calls you up.
He's pulling his dick out.
That was the greatest video I ever seen. He's singing that song. Do you have your passports? Do you have your shots? Do you want to come back to America with me? Just going off, and then he just starts belting it out. That was what was so funny with that trapped in the closet shit. That dude's literally just talking bullshit. And as long as he sings it, he could say anything he fucking wants, dude. It is so funny, dude.
So when I seen this interview, I'm thinking, nigga, this is like Trapped in a Closet.
We're literally going to have to play the whole thing on here one day and do like a fight companion to it, dude.
It's so dope. And I mean, the anticipation of the new ones when it was coming out. It was so dope. Like, oh my God, I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. Oh.
You said that shit was on DVD, huh?
It was on DVD, and oh man, the anticipation was just crazy of it coming out. It's coming out. It's coming out. And then when Spike did a Thanksgiving release, it was fucking on.
See, like I said, that was another dude I just must have missed the boat on because I was not into R. Kelly growing up. I remember the I Believe I Could Fly thing, and then like I was telling you earlier, the remix to Ignition thing. When we'd be at the club or whatever, the chicks would start going nuts when that came on. But other than that, dude, I couldn't tell. And then the Peon, the chick video, I remember it being out in the news, but I didn't watch it,
Well, that's the video that I said my mama had. My cousin got from the Fresno swap meet. They were selling copies, like you said, just like they were selling One Night in Paris. They were selling copies of the R. Kelly tape.
Yeah, see, I seen that, the Paris Hilton thing.
Yeah, and me and my woman came down. My mama said, your cousin out there in Fresno came down, and they left that R. Kelly tape. And my woman looked at me and looked at my mom and said, you bullshit. My mama said, no, it's right there in the bottom drawer. They came down here and they left the tape, but they said he coming back for it. He didn't want to have it in his car while it was going. It was going somewhere, driving far out. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, he didn't want to have a tape of people peeing on a fucking underage girl in his car, dude.
I have no idea. See, because at the time, like I said, nobody was sure. Was it him? Who was it? Was it?
Yeah,
really
see, I didn't really, honestly, that didn't even hit my radar until I saw Chappelle's show, and I remember hearing about it, but like they made fun of it, remember?
Yes.
And that's when it really like hit my radar, honestly. So I wasn't even into it at all, I had no idea what the fuck,
Yeah, so my wife got went in my mom's drawer, got the tape out, and we went and got a VCR. I forgot whose room we went to, some room in our house. Got the VCR and put it in, and he's like in the little log cabin type studio. He got a big ass remote control for his different shit, and people were saying it wasn't him, it was this guy, it was that guy. The girl is Sparkle, no, it's Sparkle's niece. And I wasn't, I didn't have internet like that where I knew who it was. I just knew the hood stories of who it was supposed to be and shit. So get on there, we looking, and my wife is like, yeah, that's him. I'm like, yeah, that's him. And then the girl starts dancing, and she goes, oh shit, that's a fucking teenager. My woman could recognize her body. Like, no, look, man, look, no.
Oh, okay. So nobody, while you guys are watching this, is like, maybe we shouldn't watch this. It's straight up child porn right now.
So that's when the argument is who is.
Because now that I'm thinking about it, so many people have probably seen that. So they've all watched child pornography, dude.
Yes. So the argument comes in to where my cousin them is like, no, that's Sparkle. She's on his label, and it's like, what? Yeah, and he's like, Sparkle, and he started telling me the song Sparkle sings. And it's like, no, that's not that Sparkle. Well, the true story is that's Sparkle's niece. It's not Sparkle. So my cousin, for a long time, we were on the bandwagon of it's not R. Kelly, it's Sparkle. Because I didn't have internet and know who the fuck Sparkle was. So we was like, what? And my wife's like, no.
I've never even heard of Sparkle, so I've heard of Sparkle Motion off Donnie Darko.
So
I question your commitment to Sparkle Motion, David.
So my wife is leading the charge, and hey, no, that's a fucking teenager. And then my cousin, who knows what, because like you said, I wasn't really into R. Kelly. I'm not the R&B type guy, and my cousin was leading the charge of, no, you guys just don't know who Sparkle is. And we were like, what the fuck? But then flash forward to now, after the Vlad TV interview, that was Sparkle's fucking niece.
And he was with Aaliyah too, right?
And we knew that too. 15-year-old Aaliyah.
And
we knew that
I was hearing something like now he's with another 18-year-old girl who's a singer as well.
See, that's fucking crazy.
And like her dad's pissed, but he was, I don't know. Like he was saying something to the effect of like, they're only mad because I don't have money to give them anymore, kind of thing. That's why all this shit's coming out. You know what I mean? Because he was paying everybody off, and they were fine with it. Like you can that was something about Michael Jackson's thing too. That one of the moms said was, how much money is enough to, because she kept saying how they were saying it's all about money. You know, she was like, there's never gonna be an amount of money that's enough to let somebody molest my kid. You know,
5,
so
15, 20.
That's why she didn't believe that Michael Jackson did it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because it's like, what parent on this planet would be like, it's okay to do that for a certain amount of money? Does that make sense? And the first one, I love how they said it. The first settlement was out of court, and it's not an admission of guilt, but it was anywhere from $5 to $25 million that fucking family got. You know?
I think it was $20 million because that's when that stage mom said. Wade's mom said, how much was enough for them? 5 million? No. 10 million? No. 15 million? No. 20 million? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they got 20.
Yeah.
She didn't cross 25. She went to 20.
I didn't catch that. Yeah.
When she said that, I said, oh, she know that family got 20.
I just remember they were, one of the lawyers of his was announcing, like, we settled out of court. It's not an admission of guilt. And that it was anywhere from 5 to 25 million or some shit like that, dude. You know?
Yeah, fucking crazy.
The breaking news fucking did it again, you know? Like, that's what I trip on, too, man. It's like, especially being a public figure like that, fucking rein it in after that, man. You dodged a fucking bullet. You know what I mean? Rein it in, bro.
Don't fuck with midgets, man.
Yeah, I don't know what, dude, but yeah, get a fucking Asian dude that's fucking 30 years old that will always forever look like a fucking 2-year-old boy. You know what I mean? Something, man. But fucking, they just are so depraved. They gotta do it, bro. That's their weird fucking kink, man. You know what I mean?
Crazy, and I swear, it's never the how come it's never the broke guy down the street doing all these rich weirdos and shit?
But what I was tripping on too was they showed him at the NAACP awards, and everybody was cheering him on, and he's like, you know, we will fight this. This isn't right. And I was just thinking in my head, we forgive so much shit if you have a fucking skill that fucking entertains us, man. Does that make sense?
I have to think, listen, when did I start coming up with this argument? At what point do I excuse Hitler's accomplishments from his fucking deeds?
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay, so if all this shit came out of the Nazi Party, when we was talking about Bear Aspen, Volkswagens, all this fucking shit. That
Dude,
came
all
out
our
of the Nazi
fucking
Party,
medical science, fucking
okay, at what,
NASA, all
at
that
what point
shit.
do we separate someone's deeds from their accomplishments? And remember, this is some shit we was talking about privately. When did we stop throwing people away from being racist? If you find out the inventor of the coolest thing that you like, you know, your favorite PlayStation or phone or car was racist, are you going to stop driving it? Or, you know, if we find out Francis Scott Key was a pedophile, will we stop singing the national anthem?
Well, that's what's cold about you that
So,
you said before was like something to the effect of just because somebody's racist, you think that's all they have to offer?
yeah.
You just completely disavow that person after that because they see things that way. Doesn't mean they still aren't a human being with things to offer. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's fucked up, and yeah, you're a moron, but it doesn't completely write off everything, dude. Does that make sense? And that's something I respect about you, dude.
But if you're an engineer, nigga, knock it out.
Right. That's something I respect about you and that we agree on is when all that rebel flag shit happened, and we were talking about this, I believe, on Stan's podcast way back in the day, but you had a friend of yours get on Facebook and was kind of defending them having one, you know, and you were like, you see things the same way I do. All these people these days want to hide who they are. I want to know who the fuck I'm fucking with, dude. Post all your shit on social media, dude. That way I know I'd rather know you're a racist and fucking we're on the same page, dude. You know what I mean? Than have you fucking, you know, saying the N-word in your fucking house when nobody's around, dude. And then when you come around me, you're this good Christian fucking person. You know what I mean?
We walk into the auto supply store, no names mentioned. And like I said,
Oh, yeah.
that guy made a fucking racist joke. And you was like, that's crazy. That guy made a racist joke to you about another race.
He said
And
we
I
call
said,
it the Vato zone.
Yeah, and I said, and to keep it real, who do you think will hire me first?
That guy, yeah.
That guy will hire me first. You know why? He just already kept it real with me.
Well, he also said it so nonchalant. I think that's something too. When you just throw it out there and you could tell there was no hate behind it. You know what I mean? He was just saying it so nonchalant. It doesn't hit you like a ton of bricks in your face. You know what I mean?
And you know what's funny too? The clean cut guy, he said he made a Mexican joke, and the clean cut guy was a Mexican. He just couldn't tell because his beard was gray and he had his little hunting hat on.
I also don't think Mexicans get that mad about that shit.
No,
Man.
it was an older Mexican guy, and I said to myself, if I needed a job, that guy hire me quicker than anybody else. Cause he's like, shit, I call it like I see it, don't give a fuck.
Bro, every human being has something they're predisposed to and the way they see things, you know? And I would hope so, because otherwise you're a moron and you don't learn in your life. Like, if I burn my hand on a pan, I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life and not do it again, hopefully. Does that make sense? So we've had these interactions with certain races and certain types of people, and yeah, it builds biases in us. But sometimes that's to help your fucking well-being as well, you know what I mean? If I'm walking up the street and I see some dude that I think's probably going to fucking rob me, I'm going to go to the other side of the fucking street. It don't matter if he's white, black, fucking Asian, fucking Mexican. That's just common sense, dude. But that also is a little bit of fucking prejudice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to prejudge somebody.
I think there's a huge difference between racism and prejudice, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes they call it street smarts.
Yep, I agree. You know what I mean?
Shit. You gotta know who the fuck you dealing with, where you at, and how you rolling. Look, me and my woman went to Mexico, and she said, give me all your valuables. Because they going to see you as a black man and fuck with you first. I'm Mexican. They might not fuck with me. So that way I have a chance to get you out of your struggle. So I quickly gave her the pistol. Here.
Right.
Shit in your purse, baby.
Right.
And if they grab me...
It's like that old joke why fucking in a group of black dudes, they always have one white guy so you can talk to the cops. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Black guy told me this shit. He said, damn, David, he said, black people always know where the cops are. He was finna fire up some weed. We doing a construction job. He finna fire up some weed. I said, hold on, that cop is way down there. I don't know if he's serving a warrant or something, but he had papers in his hand.
That's so funny you're saying that, dude. I drive with this guy, right? And he hasn't had a license in years because fucking they took it away. But literally, bro, we'll be driving all the way from Coachella home, and he could spot a fucking 5-0 from a mile of fucking way, dude. I'm not shitting you, bro. He'd be like, slow down a little bit, Jerry. There's a 5-0 up there. And I'll be like, no way. And we'll fucking drive past, and yep, dude stashed off on the side of the mountain over there. I'm like, holy shit, how did you see that? He's like, I always keep my eyes peeled, dog. I got to. I drive dirty. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, that motherfucker knows every side street and where the cops are at. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I don't even ride dirty. It's just from... living in them fucking neighborhoods as a kid and going through all that bullshit with them, what they ass, nigga, they pull you over. I mean, I didn't have them bust you just out here. I had them bust U-turns, man. When that